Today, we're counting down the top 10 Charlize Theron moments that made us gasp, cheer, and fall in love with her even more. Number 10. Her Oscar win for Monster, 2004. We can't do a list without adding this moment because honestly, it changed the game and alerted the whole of Hollywood that Charlize didn't come to play. When Charlize Theron took on the role of Aileen Wuornos in Monster, people were skeptical. How could this South African model-turned-actress possibly embody a real-life, troubled serial killer? But then she showed up on screen nearly unrecognizable, incredibly haunting, and gratifyingly heartbreaking.
I'm a real hard worker.
Her performance captured the trauma, pain, and complexity of Aileen Wuornos with such chilling realism that audiences and critics alike were stunned. She was brutal and vulnerable, terrifying and tragic.
Fuck you, man. Yeah, fuck you.
I don't want to go.
Sure you do. Sure you fucking do. They all do. They'll be fine.
When she won the Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in the movie in 2004, it was a defining moment that solidified her as one of the most fearless and committed actresses of her generation.
Charlize Theron Moments.
Her emotional acceptance speech, where she thanked her partner, mother, country, and everyone who believed in her, was humble, heartfelt, and overflowing with gratitude.
And my mom. You have sacrificed so much for me to be able to live here.
It was the kind of Hollywood moment people remember for decades. A bold, beautiful woman who refused to play it safe, stepping into the spotlight and redefining what it meant to be a leading lady. Number 9. Her scene-stealing turn in The Italian Job, 2003. Before we all knew her as an action star, Charlize gave us a taste of her adrenaline-loving side in The Italian Job. She played Stella Bridger, a professional safecracker with nerves of steel and a chip on her shoulder thanks to her father's betrayal. In a movie dominated by testosterone, think Mark Wahlberg, Edward Norton, Jason Statham, Charlize didn't just hold her own, she stole the show. Her character wasn't just window dressing. She was smart, strategic, and just as involved in the heist planning and execution as the guys. And let's talk about those Mini Cooper scenes. She zipped through tight corners and underground tunnels with so much style and swagger, she made stunt driving look effortless. Charlize did a lot of her own driving stunts for the film, and she trained hard for the role, learning the precision and timing that goes into operating those tiny but fierce cars. Director F. Gary Gray even praised her for being one of the most determined performers on set. This was one of the early signs that Charlize wasn't going to be boxed in as just another pretty face. She proved she could do slick action, deliver punchy lines, and bring emotional depth, all while looking cool behind the wheel of a Mini Cooper. Number 8. The time she shaved her head for Mad Max Fury Road, 2015.
It's me.
Not many actresses would shave their heads for a role, but Charlize didn't flinch. When she signed on to play the war-hardened, one-armed rebel Furiosa in Mad Max, she knew the role demanded more than a wig and some fake dirt. It needed total commitment. And so, the hair came off. In a 2016 red carpet interview with E!, Charlize confirms that it was her decision to take the clippers to her hair. She didn't know what to do with her hair that would fit into the desert setting of Mad Max.
It was your idea to take the clippers to your hair?
Yeah, I just didn't know. I didn't know what to do with hair in that role, in that desert.
Take it off.
What she gained, though, was far more powerful than any Hollywood glam. Her shaved head became a bold statement of strength, survival, and rebellion, both on and off screen. Charlize's look became iconic, redefining beauty standards in a genre that usually leans heavily on long hair and tight outfits. Behind the scenes, the role pushed her to the edge physically and mentally. She's spoken openly about the intense and often tense filming process, including her now famous creative clashes with Tom Hardy. But through all of it, she delivered a performance so electric, so unforgettable, it helped revive a legendary franchise and earned her widespread critical acclaim. Which brings us to another iconic Theron moment. Number 7. Her Dior red carpet moment at the Cannes Festival, 2015. It's hard to pick just one Charlize Theron fashion moment, but the radiant yellow Dior haute couture gown Charlize wore at the 2015 Cannes Film Festival was legendary at best. The gown, strapless and sleek with a soft train and a hue, screamed sunshine and confidence. In a sea of whites, blacks, and monochrome, she stood out like a tall, yellow beacon of light. But it wasn't just the dress that turned heads. Charlize arrived arm in arm with then-partner Sean Penn, and their appearance together was the buzz of the night. It was one of the rare times she brought her relationship into the public eye, and together, they exuded A-list glamour with an edge. Her styling was minimal and elegant, slicked back hair, radiant makeup, and diamond jewelry that shimmered under the Cannes lights. Critics and fans alike dubbed her the best dressed of the entire festival. It was a moment that blended old-school movie star presence with modern, effortless power. This moment was cinematic elegance at its best. Number 6. Her dance battle on The Jimmy Fallon Show. We already know Charlize can command a red carpet and crush an action scene. Little did we know she could also dominate a ridiculous dance battle. On The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon, Charlize joined Jimmy for a dance battle segment, and what followed was nothing short of comedy gold. She committed to the bit like only Charlize can by miming "Slap the Giraffe" and throwing down her version of "Tennis Pro" at a wedding. She delivered each absurd move with the kind of confidence and flair that only someone totally comfortable in their own skin can pull off. And she did it in heels and high fashion, laughing through every step and not taking herself too seriously for even a second. Fans loved seeing this more playful side of her, which is a far cry from the intense roles we're used to. Number 5. Her work with the Charlize Theron Africa Outreach Project. In 2007, Charlize founded the Charlize Theron Africa Outreach Project, aimed at supporting African youth in the fight against HIV/AIDS.
I am Charlize Theron, and I started CTAOP with the mission to keep youth safe from HIV/AIDS in my home country of South Africa.
And it's not just for show. Charlize is actively involved in CTAOP. Her commitment to empowering young people, especially Black youth in underserved communities, is inspiring.
There's a Zulu word, Ubuntu, and it translates to I am because we are. It reminds us that my humanity is bound to yours.
A queen who gives back? Yes, please. Number 4. Her hilarious brilliance in Young Adult, 2011. In Young Adult, Charlize Theron embraced the cringe. Playing Mavis Gary, a washed-up ghostwriter for teen fiction who returns to her hometown convinced she can win back her married ex, Charlize delivered one of her boldest, rawest, and most hilariously uncomfortable performances to date.
I'm looking for something chic, clean, but also a bit edgy.
Okay, we have some adorable new dresses that just came in.
Mavis is self-centered, emotionally stunted, and wildly delusional, and Charlize plays her to perfection. From messy bar hookups to painfully awkward conversations with old classmates, Charlize captured the tragic comedy of a woman stuck in her own past. And somehow, she made us care.
Are you okay? I'll be fine if I can get a real drink around here. There's some right here. Thanks, Uncle Bob.
What's brilliant about her performance is the way she walks the tightrope between absurdity and sadness. Young Adult proved she could do sharp, dark comedy just as effortlessly as drama or action. She reminded us that being likable isn't a requirement for being unforgettable, and that sometimes the messiest characters leave the most lasting impression.
You hate me now? Because it should be easy, because I fucking hate you.
Number 3. Her Bombshell Interviews. As both a lead actress and producer on the film, She used the spotlight to call out toxic workplace culture, specifically how deeply ingrained misogyny, power abuse, and gender dynamics still are in professional environments.
Why are we still putting all of these mechanisms in place that are still protecting predators and these men in power who are obviously abusing their power?
In one interview after another, Charlize dropped soundbite gold. She openly discussed how women are often forced to manage men's egos just to survive in the workplace, how they're expected to shrink themselves, bite their tongues, and make room for the fragile feelings of those in charge.
This is just such an unfair representation of women that we're either the Madonna or the whore. And we're so much more interesting than that. And by interesting, I mean not all good, you know? We can cause just as much mayhem as the men do.
I think there's an argument that Megyn Kelly, while she may not be entirely likable, is somewhat heroic. And
her performance as Megyn Kelly was powerful. She stood tall, called out the dysfunction, and reminded everyone that women in Hollywood and every industry aren't here to play nice anymore. They're here to take the mic and tell the truth, and that's exactly what she did. Number 2, her atomic badass acting in Atomic Blonde, 2017. As MI6 agent Lorraine Broughton in Atomic Blonde, Charlize oozed cool, confidence, and danger. But behind the camera, she was putting in serious work. She trained for months in intense martial arts and combat choreography, working alongside stunt teams who had previously trained the likes of Keanu Reeves for John Wick. And she did most of her own stunts. The now legendary stairwell fight scene was shot in one long, exhausting take. Charlize took hits, threw punches, and staggered through the blood, bruises, and concrete like a warrior in heels. It felt real because she made it real. Her performance in that movie raised the bar for action movies starring women. Number 1, adopting 2 children as a single mom. In a world where celebrity parenting often comes with filters and branding deals, Charlize Theron chose a path rooted in honesty, intention, and fierce love. She made the conscious decision to build a family on her own terms and adopted her 2 children, Jackson in 2012 and August in 2015, as a single mother.
When I was in relationships, I was always very honest with the people that my partners, that adoption had to be part of. It was something that I just always felt like was how my family would look one day. And so this was definitely not a second option for me. This was always my first option.
Charlize has spoken with deep sincerity about what motherhood means to her. She's fiercely protective of her kids' privacy, yet unafraid to speak up about parenting in the public eye. She's been open about the challenges, the learning curve, and the emotional depth of raising 2 children as a single working mom. What makes Charlize's motherhood journey stand out is that she doesn't pretend to be perfect. She talks about cereal for dinner nights, needing help, and Googling parenting advice like the rest of us. Yet, in every word and action, she radiates deep commitment to being present, compassionate, and real. That's it for today, guys. Which Charlize moment is your favorite? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and celebrate women who keep it real.